Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus, bringing you the chef's choice in weekly gaming news. So there was actually a decent bit of news this week, so let's get cooking and dive right in, shall we? First off, we've got news about Darius Burst. Darius Burst Chronicle Survivor, to go and be precise. So this one was one that I went and announced in my inaugural news program. So it's been one that's really on my radar. I'm super hyped for this game, and it finally went and got a release date. Unfortunately, it looks like it slipped outside of the 2015 release window, but only a little bit. So they've gone and announced that Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors will go and release on January 14th, and that appears to go and be across the board for both the physical Vita version and the downloadable PC and PlayStation 4 versions. I really was wishing the PlayStation 4 was getting a physical as well, but download makes it easy enough. I'll go and definitely be there to go and pick it up at like 0 hour if I can go and be there for that. So definitely look forward to coverage of that one when it goes and comes out. If you are interested in picking up the Vita version for this one though, be aware there is a limited edition option that you can go and get that goes and comes with an art book as well as a soundtrack as well. So for those collectors in you, there's that. Going and moving on to item number 2, Shovel Knight. So we've got a little bit of news about Shovel Knight, but it's mainly relating to their upcoming physical release, which is actually supposed to go and be just tomorrow, October 13th. It's been delayed in North America to November 3rd and in the EU to October 30th. The reasons given for the delay is they wanted to go and make sure they had enough time to go and get the Plague Knight, Plague of Shadows DLC added to the retail discs before they went and shipped them out. Unfortunately, there's also a price increase announced as well. It's going and changing from a retail price of $20 to $25. And there was the main reason given to this one was basically retailers limited shelf space, and they don't want to go and end up right in the bargain bin right away. And bargain bin titles are usually priced at what these days? $20. So if they avoid the $20 price point, they avoid being put directly into the bargain bin and hopefully have a better shelf space presentation so they can go and get more sales. There's also another piece of sad news in relation to the retail release of Shovel Knight, and that's that the Xbox One version has been indefinitely canceled. And this is due to the system's publishing policies. They didn't really go and state exactly what it was about the policies that went and prevented them from going and doing a retail release, but still, that's very disappointing news for Xbox One owners, I'm sure, if you were looking forward to going and picking up a physical copy of Shovel Knight. You can still go and pick it up digitally though, so if that's the case, I still highly encourage you to pick up that title if you haven't. It's well worth it. Especially with the Plague of Shadows DLC going and being free for all. It is definitely worth it when you go and factor that in there. And then also one last piece of Shovel Knight news, and that's all about the Shovel Knight Amiibo. So rumors abound that this might actually go and be confirmation that it's compatible with Super Smash Brothers, that Shovel Knight is actually coming to Super Smash Brothers. There was a leak earlier this week from Nintendo on their Smash Brothers site as far as upcoming Amiibos that were compatible with Super Smash Brothers and tradable, and that was one that was on the list initially and then pulled. So that one's kind of a tricky one, whether that rumor is true or not, but it doesn't have a release date yet, but Yacht Club Games says that they will have one soon and that they'll be opening pre-orders for it soon. So if you're a collector of Amiibos or if you're just looking to go and get an awesome looking Shovel Knight figure, keep your eyes open for that one as well. So moving on to some other really awesome news. So for those of us in North America, the PlayStation 4 has gone and received a $50 price drop from its manufacturing suggested retail price of $400 down to $350, which basically goes and matches the Japanese price drop from a couple weeks ago. This one went into effect the day after it was announced, so by the time this video is up, it's already at its $350 price point. So if you haven't gone and looked into picking up a PlayStation 4 yet, and you're looking into it, then the chef definitely goes and recommends one, mainly because I'm a big Japanese gamer and there's a lot of Japanese titles on the horizon for that system, as well as a great lineup of other titles. And no better chance to go and get one at a good price than now. And actually, with the holiday sales even going and coming up, you might even be able to go and grab one for an even better price. So keep open for that. All right, more news. We've got on to our fourth item, which happens to go and be about a 4. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Final was announced earlier this week after this short retweet campaign that Atlus went and did. Basically, they went and had this tweet that if it was retweeted 15,000 times, they would go and put up an announcement, and I think it took less than a day to go and get to that point. But their announcement was for Shin Megami Tensei 4 Final. So this is not a rehash of Shin Megami Tensei 4. If anything, it's actually a sequel. It's set about 25 years after the setting of the first game, in a world where war basically came down from the gods and the demons, and the earth had to go and get encompassed into this what was it? Bedrock above the sky. So like basically there's like this rock in the sky now. It's definitely looking like a really interesting addition to the Shin Megami Tensei family, and it's due out in February of 2016. So really not that far away. When it was announced, Atlus is going and saying that the game is at 90% completion. So they're nearly finished with the title, which is kind of incredible that they were held off announcing this title until it was this far along. But hey, that's great, because that means there's less time to go and wait between the announcement and when it goes and comes out. Although keep in mind, this is the Japanese release. The US release, if there's one that'll go and actually happen, will go and be further down the road. Hopefully there's one. The Shin Megami Tensei series is a great, if somewhat brutally difficult series if you're a fan of JRPGs. Alright, and now that brings us to our final item. This one is a little bit of a downer. So Kan Colle Kai, Kantai Collection Chi for the PlayStation Vita has been delayed yet again. So this title is one that's been mired with delays. It's basically supposed to go and be the PlayStation Vita version of the browser Kan Colle, which I really have been meaning to go and get around to doing a video on, so I want to say look forward to that, but no promises. But we'll get around to that one hopefully sooner rather than later. Anyway, this is the fourth official major delay that's gone and hit this title. So it's starting to go and get kind of worrisome. At that point, you have to worry, is it going to go and slip into the realm of vaporware? Or is it going to go and even not happen or is it going to slip into the realm of vaporware? Or maybe even worse, is it going to go and turn out to go and be a terrible title? Hopefully not the latter, as the browser game actually is a lot of fun. And if they can go and kind of capture that same feeling, except without the free-to-play elements that are present in the browser version, then it could go and be a really awesome experience. Definitely more on this one as it goes and gets closer to release. It was originally supposed to go and release in November 27th, but now it's been pushed back to February 18th of next year. So that's disappointing. The reasons given, so for some of the earlier delays, the reasons we're given is that the scope of the game or the game volume exceeding its original scope, and now in this one just going and tweaking to, let's see, how did I go and write it? Needing more time for final adjustments. So here's hoping that the time that they went and took to delay the title goes and means we go and get a better title in the end. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, but with each delay that's gone and hit this one, I'm definitely apprehensive. I think it was originally for 2015, it was originally supposed to ship in May, then it was supposed to go and ship in August, then it was supposed to ship in November, and now we're like slipped out of 2015 and we're into February of next year. Definitely not a good sign. Still, I'm definitely hopeful about this one, as I have become quite the big Kan Colle fan over the last several months. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for the news for this week. I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me. As always, if you go and have any news stories that you think I should go and report on next week's show, please leave those in the comments below. Or if you have any suggestions about any improvements that I can go and make to my format, I would also love to go and hear about that. I definitely want to go and tweak and improve this program if I can. And once again, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me, and we'll see you again next week.